everyone. So today I'll take interview of my neighbor uncle whose name is Mr. Burhaan Taskeen, who is now in his 70s. So uncle, my first question to you is how the world was in your time?
That's a very nice question you have asked. It's taking me back in my memories to my student days, and I suppose that you are asking how was my time during my student days. Is that right? Okay, so I take it that way, and I will say that during our student days, things were very cool, comfortable, and we had so much of time to not only read, write, but we had time even to play. So many activities we used to do, and we used to gather in those days. Small mohallas were there, gullies were there. So we used to play like those days gilli danda, or those kanches, what you call it, marble.
Yes.
So those are the kind of games we used to play, and we grew up playing those kind of games. And at the same time, there was so much of harmony, so much of camaraderie among our own students, that we used to play together. Sometimes we used to go to each other's house and spend a whole day, or sometimes even a whole night during the examination time. It was just a wonderful time, I think.
Oh, cool. So now I would like to ask you, how did you spend time as a student?
Yeah, I think I would like to sort of elaborate what I have just now mentioned. That basically, if you ask personally me, I was very studious type of a person. So during the student days, I was very particular about taking notes. Whatever teacher used to speak during the classes. Those days, those blackboards were there and all, not like smart classes of nowadays.
Yes.
So the teacher would write something on the blackboard, and then I was always the front bencher. Right on the front bench I used to sit, and I was very particular about taking notes. I used to note down each bit, and I was so fast in doing that. After the class work is over, after the classes are over, a lot of students used to come to me, and they will take my notes for reference purposes. So that was during the class times. Then we used to play a lot. We used to play football. We had a very nice sort of huge ground, just adjacent to rather within the premises of our school. So we used to play. We used to play cricket. We used to play football. We used to sort of arrange social gatherings. So it was just a hell of a fantastic time we had been sort of going through. When we look back, we really cherish those memories of our student days.
Amazing. Now let's understand with you, uncle, that did people have more or less leisure?
Certainly, I would say that people had a lot of time, in spite of so much of classwork and homeworks. We used to get so much of time for outside activities. We used to call it extracurricular activities. Like we used to sort of write sometimes essays. Sometimes there will be some assignment kind of a thing that write an essay on a particular topic. Sometimes there will be those days they will say that okay, these kinds of very difficult and complicated type of project works were never there, which I'm experiencing in your days and also in these present days. We used to have simple kind of just write an essay on, or sometimes we used to have what do you call that when you speak speech competitions, etc. So there will be some topic will be given, and that topic they will say that okay, yes, one has to speak in favor of that particular topic and one has to speak against that. So there will be some kind of a contest, and then the judge used to decide. All those kind of, and we used to have plenty of time, I must say.
Okay. coming to the last one.
Mhm.
Were you closer to the nature?
Oh yeah, certainly we used to be very very close to the nature in the sense that, for example, let us say when we are talking or we are going or we are walking, even starting from our day, like how do we start the day? We used to walk.
Oh,
So there was no sort of not even cycling sometimes. We used to walk towards school. So it's all by our natural movements. Like there was no vehicle, no pollution. Then when we are having the recess time, so we are playing and those kind of a natural games. There were no mobiles, there were no computers. So where was the question of spending and straining our eyes and playing those kind of games? So we used to play natural games. We used to run. We used to make sort of racing among ourselves. Then there was a lot of greeneries, around our schools. So we used to enjoy. We used to sit near the tree, under the tree. Even during the lunchtime, five or so, four of us will gather just under a tree, and then we will eat, from our lunch boxes, and then we will share with each other with so much of joy, with so much of pleasure. It was all we were one among the nature. Okay, I must say that.
oh, nice, uncle. Okay, so thank you so much, uncle, to sharing your cool experience with us.
It was my pleasure. It was entirely my time. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to express my student days. Thank you.
Thank you.